Hey everyone, what's going on? Jeff here from Films at Home, and in today's video I am going to be mostly behind the camera because we are doing a TV review. It's been a little while since I've done a TV review, so I'm really excited, and I'm mostly excited for this because this is my first ever look at 8K. So what I have in front of me here is a HiSense U800 8K ULED TV. So we're going to be doing a full review of this TV and all of its features and its specs. I'm going to be comparing it to my current setup and how the picture looks, how the brightness is, HDR, Dolby Vision, all that good stuff. We're going to be looking at 1080p content, 4K content, especially 4K Blu-rays, and then also some 8K native content as well and where you can get that. So ultimately, I was able to get this from HiSense in for review, and the biggest reason I wanted to check it out was to really see whether or not 4 times the pixels going from 4K to 8K really makes as big a difference as the 1080p to 4K leap. I am a little bit skeptical. I don't think the human eye can really decipher the difference between 4K and 8K, but there are some other benefits to this TV. It's a really nice panel. So we'll talk about all of that, but really my focus here is how does your 4K Blu-ray content look on an 8K TV, and is it worth getting an 8K TV for that upscaling technology? Does it make your 4K Blu-rays actually look any better at an average viewing distance? And that's what we'll be diving into. But first, I do want to talk about this TV, its features, its specifications, and some of the really cool things that I've seen while reviewing it. So first off, let's talk about the TV and its specs. So this is a HiSense TV, and it comes with the Roku TV technology. So you'll see here, it has your smart technology, it has all of your apps. If you know Roku TV and you know that interface, this will be pretty common and pretty easy for you to navigate. It has some stores here. There's a movie store, there's a TV store, streaming channels, all that good stuff. But really, you're going to spend most of the time on your home page, where you'll see you have like your Blu-ray player, your cable box, Netflix, Hulu, Roku, HBO Max, all that good stuff. So it's a 75-inch panel, and it is 8K, which means that its resolution is 4320p. That sounds insane to say, but it is. It's double 2160, just like 1080 is double to 2160 for 4K. On 8K, it is 4320. So this TV has over 31 million pixels on it. So it is a beast of a panel. And at 75 inches, it's pretty heavy. We've got this thing mounted on the wall here, but just picking it up and bringing it upstairs definitely takes 2 people. The TV weighs about 110 pounds in the shipping box. Out of the shipping box, it's a little bit less. It's about 85 pounds, but it is quite the TV, and it's a lot to handle. So definitely going to want 2 people to help you bring this into your house and set this thing up. Pretty good. I would say it's not really a major difference from 4K. The picture does look phenomenal, although I don't know that I'd be able to pick this out and say it's 8K versus 4K. 1000 nits. I will say, if you want something very bright, if you want something that you're going to be able to watch in this panel. So overall, the interface is really easy to use. It does output a pretty good 1080p image, and it's pretty easy to set up. I didn't have any issues. It's very easy to assign inputs, log into all of your apps, and it actually has a really cool feature on the remote as well. Now, the remote has to be charged, which is a little strange, but the remote actually has a headphone input. And so if you like watching movies or TV late at night, say maybe you have neighbors, you live in an apartment building, you don't want to disturb them with the sound, you can actually plug some headphones into the TV remote, and that will pass the sound into your headphones, so only you're hearing what's going on. It's just a kind of cool feature that I honestly haven't seen before in any TVs. Typically you need another device or like your PlayStation controller to do that sort of thing, but it's integrated right here into the remote, which makes that a pretty handy little tool, especially if you're trying to watch things late at night, or just trying to keep the noise down. So what I've got here now is the 4K Blu-ray player on, and I've put in one of my favorite reference discs, and obviously my favorite movie of all time, and that's Jaws. So we're looking at the Jaws 4K Blu-ray right here, and this is in Dolby Vision, HDR, 4K, 60p. So it's got everything you'd want from it. It has Dolby Vision, and this TV can also handle HDR10, HDR10 Plus, and HLG. So it handles all of your HDR formats with ease. I didn't have to do any settings here to have Dolby Vision come on and be handled by this TV. It actually gives you a little indicator when you play Dolby Vision content, which is a nice heads up just to let you know that it is firing. Now, I can't really play too much of this, but the content does look good in 4K. It looks pretty good. And like I said before, you can mess with the settings. So you could go into picture settings and go to picture mode and play with Dolby Vision. So this is a bright Dolby Vision, a dark Dolby Vision, and a normal Dolby Vision. So they do significantly change the color of the TV, and you can also go brighter, you can go darker, dark, normal, bright. But as I said, this is a fairly bright TV. I've been keeping it on bright and normal while I've been doing this. Now the other thing this has is local dimming. So it has a full array backlight. So it's not an OLED TV, but it has hundreds or dozens, I should say, of different zones, which allow the TV to dim certain areas, brighten up certain areas, make sure that you get a nice black picture where it's supposed to be black. And I am seeing that here. I'm definitely seeing that, you know, especially the black bars here on the screen. There isn't really any cloudiness. There isn't much flash lighting. There isn't much bloom. It's pretty good. It does deliver a pretty solid black level image, much like my Sony TV does with the same technology, the local dimming, the full array backlight. So that does deliver a pretty good movie viewing experience. That's mostly where you're going to want to see that technology come into play. Now, I've been watching Jaws on this TV, and honestly, I have to say, I'm not seeing a whole lot of difference with the 8K upscaling. Even getting up really close to the TV and getting, you know, right up next to it, I'm not really seeing a huge difference. I'm not seeing that this 8K panel is really creating much of a sharper image. There might be a little bit of extra sharpness that the 8K upscale is providing, but ultimately to me, it doesn't look much different than my Sony 4K TV. I just can't tell with my human eye the difference when it's playing 4K content. And for me, there isn't a ton of 8K content out there. There are no 8K movies. And so the real benefit to 8K would be, can you upscale your 4K and 1080p content and make it look even better? And while HiSense does advertise that they have some pretty neat upscaling technology, and I'm sure they do, I still think it's just a limitation of the human eye, especially sitting only 10 or 15 feet away on a 75-inch screen. I'm just not seeing a difference. Even on a 75-inch or 85-inch TV, this is still sort of where 4K hits its peak at an average viewing distance, and you start to lose some of the benefits. And 8K at this size and at an average viewing distance really just doesn't change your perception much. So to me, the biggest benefit of this TV would be its additional brightness, if that's something that's very important to you, although we never want to be artificially bright. So you'll see here the Jaws image. You know, I think it still looks better on my Sony TV. I think the Sony panel handles colors better. I think it handles a Blu-ray disc better. It plays at 24 frames per second instead of 60. So there's certain benefits there to the Sony TV that I still like. But this HiSense TV, especially if watching sports, playing video games on it, something that's very bright and has a lot of motion, it does have some really nice technology that handles the motion and increases that brightness. Although not really any of it is tied to the fact that it's 8K resolution. So I've seen this in other HiSense 4K TVs that I've reviewed. They are often very bright and can handle video games and gaming and sports very well, but they were 4K panels. So really I haven't seen much that screams to me that you need 8K. It looks to me like a very good, you know, above average 4K TV, but if you didn't tell me this was 8K, I'm not sure that I could have told you that it was. I mean, it's a very good looking panel as, you know, a day-to-day TV, a TV for movies, for gaming, for sports. My only issue is I just don't see the 8K difference that marketing departments, and this is not just HiSense, this is going to be Samsung, Sony, LG, everybody who makes a TV is going to start talking about 8K, and they're all going to start marketing it really hard, 4 times better than 4K. Problem is, it may be 4 times better than 4K, but unless you're an Android and you have next level eyes that humans don't have, you're not going to be able to tell the difference at a typical viewing distance on a typical size 75, 85, even 120 inch screen. I really don't think you're going to start to see a difference with 8K. That's sort of the upper limits of where 4K starts to make a difference, is in the 75, 85 to 100 inch screen. 8K probably needs a much larger panel for you to see a difference, and even at that, most people won't be able to notice it. So it is still, in my opinion, a little bit of a gimmick. So that is it for this review. Thanks again for watching this, and I do intend to do some more testing with 8K and hopefully trying some different panels. But now that I have an 8K TV in front of me and I'm watching it firsthand and watching some of my favorite discs like Jaws on 4K, I can say pretty confidently that this isn't going to change your viewing experience much. The thing that'll change your viewing experience is a wider color gamut, a new color grading technology like Dolby Vision, something that increases the brightness of the image even past where HDR can take it. But we are sort of at a peak for home entertainment. 8K is just not going to deliver any better an experience than a 4K TV does. It just simply won't. And 8K discs are nowhere on the horizon. None of the major studios are talking about them. They're all focused on streaming. It is really cool for gaming. It's cool for video production if you're shooting video at 8K and you need a panel like this. You know, it certainly has its uses. But if you're looking for something to take your 4K viewing experience and 4K Blu-rays to the next level, 8K is just not it. There's other things you can do. There are better options out there. You'd be better off upgrading to, you know, a higher end LED or OLED TV than you would be in spending the money to go to 8K. And I can say that pretty confidently, having spent quite a few days with this TV now. But I do want to say huge thanks to HiSense. I really, really appreciate their support of the channel. And definitely, whether it's this TV or one of their 4K panels, I do still think that they blow away a lot of the other mid-range TVs. If you're not going high-end from Sony or Samsung or LG, and you're looking at some of their mid-range models, the HiSense TVs are going to beat them almost every time. They're just a better panel in that same price range. So I highly, highly recommend them, especially if you're looking for good 4K HDR support. They cover all the different HDR formats. They have great 4K panels and really, really nice brightness. Colors, not as good as some of those other high-end TVs, but compared to mid-range stuff, they blow them away. So definitely continue to support HiSense, and I think they're doing a really cool thing. They have a great mid-range TV, even for higher-end, you know, 4K Blu-ray enthusiasts. So thanks to them. Thanks to you guys for watching. We've had a great last couple weeks on the channel here at the end of 2021, so I'm really looking forward to 2022. So make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you follow me on social media, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. I'm spreading the word about physical media over there, so find me, follow me there, and make sure that you check out all the other links in the description for ways you can support me and the channel partners who help support my content. So that's about it. Thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your day. Stay safe, stay healthy out there, and I'll talk to you all soon.